Hi, I'm Warren Case. I will be teaching this fall's course on space exploration. Sorry I can't be at Showcase. I will be at my daughter's wedding. She's getting married this weekend, so we're down in Nashville, Tennessee, getting ready for that. So I hope this works in its place. Space is pretty exciting. I mean, I started in working for NASA right out of high school. I started working at Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. And then I've moved on recently to NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. You probably know that rocketry dates back to the Chinese with fireworks and the like. You may not know that the first time rockets were used on U.S. soil was just down the road from here, 70 miles from here in Lewis, Delaware. It's during the War of 1812, and the British decided to use rockets for the first time against the Americans. Didn't kill anybody, I don't think, or cause much damage, but it sure scared a lot of people. But anyway, that was just down the road. You probably think more in terms of the space race back in the 60s, when the Soviet Union and the United States were racing to land a man on the moon. The Soviets got out front when they launched Sputnik, the first satellite in space, October 1957. At that time, the U.S. really didn't seem to have their act together. They're having trouble getting a satellite into orbit. So one of their first attempts did not go too well, the Vanguard. But as you know, eventually the U.S. caught up, surpassed the Soviets, and landed Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon 55 years ago this week. So this is a big anniversary this time. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how that came about. We'll talk about some of the tragedy that's happened along the way. The Apollo 1 fire took the lives of 3 astronauts and slowed down the progress on getting to the moon. And during the Apollo program itself, even after Apollo 11, of course you know about Apollo 13, which nearly caused the deaths of those 3 astronauts. But the Apollo program finished. You had Skylab, you had the space shuttle, you had the International Space Station, and we'll talk about all of those things. Very exciting things that happened. The shuttle had its own issues. We lost the Challenger crew and the Columbia crew. We'll talk about what happened there, but it did so many amazing things. And a lot of things have happened on Space Station, which has been manned ever since 2000, so 20 some years now going on. It's got a few more years left, and we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about like the Mars rovers, the space telescopes, things like that. Perhaps the most exciting part or interesting part may be what we'll talk about lastly, which is what's happening in space now. You're familiar with SpaceX. There's also Blue Origin, there's Rocket Labs, there's other companies that are building their own rockets, launching them, a lot of times under contract from NASA or other space agencies. And it's really reducing the cost and improving the access to space. A lot of things going on. Things change almost every day, every week or something. So we're going to talk about that, answer your questions, and have a good discussion about what's ahead, which is very exciting. Now that's the completion of my description of the course itself. As a bonus, if you will, if you want to think of it that way, on November 22nd, I will be taking a group of people to Goddard Space Flight Center to get a guided tour of their integration and test facilities. The room where they built Hubble and James Webb. And right now they're building the next space telescope, the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. We'll also go see the control center for several satellites, and also the visitor center and the gift shop as well. It's actually a great tour. It should be a good time. And the plan is what I'll do. It's not part of this course officially, but the people that take the course will be the first ones I'll ask if they would like to go. And we'll talk about the details, of course, before then, transportation and all those things. So anyway, that's it. I hope if you're interested, please sign up, and I look forward to seeing you.